Hello, everyone. I'm going to talk a little bit about growth mindset and coping with change in this video. So, that could be change moving from normal life to this COVID-19 pandemic, but also moving from the pandemic forward back into whatever our life looks like post pandemic. And what I want to discuss particularly is the work of Dr. Dave Alred, and specifically of his work, a phrase that he calls different but better. Now, as humans, we all don't like change, and that's really natural. And that's because of the uncertainty and the sort of imposed hopelessness that can often be a result of that. However, as some people, some wise person somewhere once said, the only constant in life is change. So it is pretty useful if we can learn to have a good perspective on change and see it as an opportunity for growth. Now, typically, as humans, we deal with change through there's a model that represents how we deal with change quite well, and that is the Sarah change model. So you're going through the stages of shock, anger, resistance, acceptance, and either healing or happiness, one of the two, as we move through and sort of get over and move forward from that period of change. The majority of us go through all these stages. However, typically, people find it most difficult to get through that middle stage of resistance. And I'm going to explain a little bit about how Dr. Alred wants you to kind of push yourself through that and make sure you're applying a growth mindset to that change. One thing that Dr. Alred addresses really well is the common resistance of wanting things to be back how they were. And this is supernatural because that's where lots of our comforts and coping mechanisms are. For me, it was spending time in a coffee shop and just getting to decompress a bit from whatever's been going on that day. However, he sees that perspective as something that's incredibly self-limiting. Why would you want things to be back how they were when they could always be better? This particularly is something that struck a chord with me. A lot of people have been upskilling through the COVID-19 period. They're now much more adept at working remotely. They may have had to work hard on different relationships. We've all been challenged in very different ways. And moving forward out of this COVID-19 period, we definitely will be different and for sure better in certain areas. And he summed this up really well with the quote, "Wherever you are and whoever you are, you can always get better." And this isn't necessarily that what you're doing now has a fault to it. It's just never ever too late to improve. And I found that quote really, really powerful. It's not about a lack of empathy. It's not about having a lack of self-care and being overly critical of yourself. It's just about recognizing that we can always move forward and improve. Hope that's useful, and stay safe.